Welcome to the World United. Welcome to the World United.
Next, I would like to invite Suke Ridler. Welcome, Suke. I will take a moment to introduce you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Suke Ridler is a motivational speaker and founder and CEO of My Life Jars, because life can change in a heartbeat. Suke lives between Sydney and Manchester, has a go at open mic stand-up comedy for fun, and enjoys drinking good wine. It wasn't so long ago that she had to face her own mortality and realized that she'd left everything in such a mess. She hadn't written her life story or left messages for her family. She also had to work through some complex issues, losing her dad without discussing his medical wishes with him, not being able to find her mom's will and know who the executors were, and managing a relative's estate with a shoebox of information, which led to litigation. All these events show that she has a true understanding of why we need to act now. We must record our unique stories before they are lost forever, leave messages to help comfort our loved ones, just in case anything happens unexpectedly, and reduce the risk of anxiety, issues, and potential conflict in families. Her passion is to inspire you to capture your own life and curate your legacy, or help someone to do theirs, because it is the most important task any one of us will ever do. So a warm welcome to you, Suke Ridler, because life can change in a heartbeat. Thank you.
Life can change in a heartbeat. If anything happened to you, what would you do? From the moment that we come into existence, we start to write our life story, collect things, and build a legacy. There's the ultrasound image, baby photos, that special toy, a lock of hair, preschool photos, art and craft. Oh, and there's a lot of that. Learn to swim certificates, our first tooth, school photos, school books, merit awards, school reports, little athletics medals, winners and losers, netball and cricket trophies we hold up high, and all those certificates for all those hobbies we did from grade 1 till when we succeeded, or we didn't quite get there. And that's just our things. Then there's our memories with our families, with our pets, with our school friends, what we did, where we went, the naughtiness we've got up to. And I haven't even left our childhood yet. Throughout life, we collect a whole lot of stuff. We fill albums and files and folders and bookshelves, boxes and cupboards and garages and attics. Then there's our phones and our laptops, USBs, hard drives, uploading to the cloud and social media platforms. And let's not forget the VHS tapes and the floppy disks hidden in a drawer somewhere. In our teenage years, we build more memories. As young adults, what we did and what we shouldn't have done. As adults with careers and sometimes families of our own, through to latter life, when we tick off things on the bucket list. We gain experience, we build wisdom, and our life has meaning and purpose that we want to share. That's an enormous amount of emotional and physical things to manage. So what is legacy? Legacy can be thought of as a gift from the past to the present and the future. We all have a legacy to leave. It's just generally not presented or curated. Memories get forgotten. Things get dispersed amongst the family, sold or thrown away. Devices and technology change. Passwords and accounts get hacked and have to be deleted. Messages don't get written and secrets left untold. But with the birth of the internet, we've all become so much more interested in our ancestry. Just imagine future generations looking back at this point in time today. What would you like them to find out about you? Legacy isn't hundreds of photos uploaded to Google and Facebook posts intermingled with fake news, cat videos and memes. I'm talking about those treasured memories, those words of wisdom, those thoughts, those feelings that we've collected since birth that define who we are and who we want to be remembered by. We have to start curating our legacy now, because life really can change in a heartbeat. Before the explosion of the internet in 2003, we could hardly find any information about anyone. Now there's too much information. The world produces over 2 trillion gigabytes of data daily. We're all leaving a huge digital footprint, both good and bad. Yet, if someone you loved's heart stopped beating tomorrow, would you have their life story? And if your life stopped beating tomorrow, would your family and friends know yours? And would they be able to find your will? Would they know for certainty how you'd want your end of life things managed? Would they have access to all your passwords? Being left with an unexpected mess of paperwork and legal matters would only prolong their grieving. And I know you wouldn't want that, would you? And what about all those things that you mean to say but never get round to saying? There wouldn't be any closure for you, not for you or your loved ones. A few years ago, these thoughts came racing into my mind very suddenly. I was out for coffee with friends, and as I sipped my skinny cat and ate an orange poppy seed muffin, we chatted about our family of vineyards and the local wine festival. All was really good in my world until it wasn't. Fast forward to that evening, and I'm drifting in and out of consciousness in a plane as I'm being airlifted from the country to the nearest city hospital. I had one of those superbugs and my colon was infected and I went into septic shock. There I was, alone, in pain and very frightened. But believe it or not, I wasn't actually thinking about dying. All I could think about was what I was and wasn't leaving behind for my family and friends, the goodbyes I wouldn't get to say. And if this really was it, well, what a mess I'd left for my loved ones. Sure, I'd written a will, but it was buried in a drawer somewhere. Would they be able to find my vital documents, my important information, my account passwords? Would they even know what to look for? And how about my birth certificate, my treasured photos, my university degree, and all those other mementos I collected throughout life? Would they get to my children? And once the material things had been sorted out, how about my memory? I hadn't really shared the details of my life story. Would that mean it would crumble and vanish forever? In that moment, lying in that emergency room, I really thought I'd let my loved ones down. But luckily, with the help of powerful antibiotics, I pulled through. And I'm here now, alive and well. But look, if anything like this ever did happen again, I knew I had to get my act together. I knew I had to be prepared. So, as I was introduced, I've had to deal with a lot of family complex issues over end-of-life matters, losing my dad and not really discussing his medical wishes with him, which really led to an onerous feeling of responsibility when I had to make some decisions. And not being able to find my mum's will and know who the executors of her estates were. And that led to a lot of conflict in my family, and managing a relative's estate with a shoebox of information. Well, that did end up in litigation, which was both extremely time consuming and very expensive. Look, I know of some of the problems that families face when things aren't said and done, yet I still hadn't been prepared for my brush with death. There is a lot to do to organise our affairs, but isn't there a wider issue here about privacy, security, and control of access to our personal information? From a moment an organisation comes into existence, they start to collect our data and build a customer or client profile. There's emails, addresses, our phone numbers, all sorts of dates, what we research, where we go to online and in real life, what we buy, the rewards we collect, if we have fur babies, the number of kids, our marital status, the size of all sorts of things, the insurances we have, what we don't have, the health services we need, and what's wrong with us, our network of friends, who we're with, what we're doing. Did you know, well, let's face it, apps like Google Maps and Fitbit know exactly who we're having sex with. So if you wear a Fitbit and two phones are in regular proximity to each other, never before in the whole of history has there been so much evidential data on the mating habits of humans. But seriously, exposing data and our information online and hacking accounts is really a serious problem. Look, it was only in 2018, the Cambridge Analytica scandal, that people really started to understand the importance of protecting our personal data. There are many serious breaches of data every year. In 2020, some of the top companies for the top security breaches included, would you believe, Nintendo, Twitter, Microsoft, and Zoom. And yet again, Facebook, for exposing 267 million profiles online that were found later on sale at the dark web for £600. Amazing, hey? Well, have you found, though, that we have to engage with businesses and services online? It's an absolute necessity these days. And the utility of uploading our information to social media is so useful that it's very difficult for us to delete our accounts. And have you gone to social media profiles of those that you've loved and lost to remember and reflect on their lives? Apparently, over 60% of us do, but there's a cautionary tale here. My aunt's Facebook account was hacked and had to be deleted 2 years after she died. So if you do take screenshots, because permanent social media profiles may not be permanent. There really is a lot to do, and that's why I've made it my mission to encourage people like you not to be like me. And here are the 5 steps that you can take to make sure that you're prepared just in case your life changes in a heartbeat. 1, draft or review your will and power of attorney. Surprisingly, 1 in 2 people still don't have a valid will. So if you don't, make sure you need to review it, because there's been a birth, death, marriage or divorce in your family. Please make an appointment with a solicitor, and don't forget to review it every 3 years. 2, decide on your healthcare requirements and draft an advanced care directive, otherwise known as a living will, and nominate your healthcare proxies. I can't believe that over 86% of people in the Western world don't have one of these. Please make sure you get yours and discuss your wishes with your family so there are no surprises for them. And 3, collate all your important information, your vital documents, your password, and make sure the people that will need these have access to them wherever they are in the world. And 4, start writing your life story. Just capture one memory at a time, because we all have a unique story that we should share. And finally, write some messages, and don't forget to include those secrets, because they will help your family and friends at their time of grief. As I say, there really is a lot to do, and I bet you're feeling quite overwhelmed right now, even if you thought you'd been prepared. So that's why I've pulled together a whole lot of information in bite-sized bits that can be found at mylifejars.com. You can even create your own free account to store all your personal data securely, because it has a unique encryption engine that means that you can store everything, all your data, and pass it on to who you want to, when you want to. So please check out the free templates and prompts that will really help you and really help guide you. In this world of uncertainty, one thing is certain for 7 billion of us, and whether that is tomorrow or in 10, 20, 30 years or more, our lives will change in a heartbeat. Capturing our life and curating our life, our legacy, or doing it for someone else is one of the most important things any of us can ever do. So, what is your story? Where is everything? And what are you doing now to prepare for tomorrow, just in case your life changes in a heartbeat?
Thank you so much. Suke, how do you say the name? Is it Suke? Is it Suke?
I'm usually go as the name Suke, but a few people call me Suke.
Okay.
But Suke is good. Suke, I still answer to.
Suke. Thank you so much. Parts in your story, I actually felt a jolt, because it is the conversation that all of us need to be having, but many of us hesitate to go there. And I think it's become even more significant during this pandemic, and a lot of people found out the hard way. So I'll chat with you more during our panel, but right now I'd like to present you with the certificate.
Thank you. That's very kind of you, and I it means a lot.
So the World United presents the Certificate of Speaker to Suke Ridler for being an estimated speaker in Global Transformation Festival 2021 Australia. And I present this on behalf of Dr. Yugandhar and Grandma Parisha. Thank you.
Thank you.